Hit Season 2.
Just never could. All right, well, Classic taking map number 1 of their best of 3. Game number 2 starting up here. ByuN kind of back against the wall for this first match. You definitely want to take the winner's route through the matches today. ByuN needs your help, so get out there, tell your friends. ByuN needs some more cheerfuls, some more people tweeting about it. Let's get into game number 2. Here we are in set 2 between these two players. To the bottom right, in red, it is ByuN, the teamless, the hope of the foreign fans. You can see it shining through him. And down, or up over here, I should say, in blue, his opponent, a champion of both Star Leagues. It is Classic. Classic. Now the glasses toss. I don't know. We're gonna have to think of the name for that. He is that's way more than just 4 eyes. And you can see there a fan has the Classic player cards. So definitely want to come down to the studio and get yourself some of those. ByuN now on the opposite side of the well, I guess he's on the same side of the map, but just on the lower half of it now. Does not have a cool name like the chin toss. I think for a while he was called the Puppy Terran because he actually won a puppy for making it to I think it was the quarterfinals of a GSL.
I think he actually just bought that puppy for himself because he did that, and then he a
fan like bought it for him.
Okay, that might
or
make
something
sense.
like that.
But he brought it to GSTL, and the puppy sadly didn't make it, but. It was a cool thing that happened, like where he was bringing this to the GSTL, and yeah, he was called the Puppy Terran for a while. He was jokingly called Ghost King by Korean fans online on like DC Inside and Inven because he was doing incredible ghost plays, and then he could use that name for a while. But I want to talk about this build really quick because it is looking like it may be with the gas first here that early Cyclone build, and that's why Classic wanted to scout early to see if it was gas first or not. And also versus gas first, you actually get a little bit more pro harass, which we saw there. We'll see if ByuN changes it up here because he's going for a reactor right now on the second gas, so it might just be simply the same Widowmine build that we saw in the previous set. This Reaper scout will come in here. There's not much to see yet, but you can get a lot better scouting on this map than you could on the previous. So no way for Classic to do like a super greedy Twilight Council this time. Yep. Fast Robo, though. Really fast.
Yeah, he does save the Reaper there, so always a nice box to check off. Theoretically always possible, but sometimes you don't. That's how you know if you're super bad. But just kidding. Both of these guys actually incredibly good. Still in the GSL, still in the SSL, at least for now. One, possibly both of them going home after tonight's games. Or maybe they both make it through, and then we have happiness all around. But nice scouting. I don't think it's seen the fast Robo, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like on this map, the Reaper scout comes across so fast that you can't really hide tech until you clean the Reaper out. Killing it means that you can hide it no matter what, basically. But like you said, it's so important to keep that alive, and that means that there's no follow-up scout here. So this looks like an old school Adept drop with a follow-up with Glaives, the build that we're seeing here so far. He's rushing out the Observer even. This is pretty unusual.
Okay.
He really just wants to see what's coming at him, I guess, first, because I was thinking, okay, we're going to see a Prism, 4 Adept drop. Like, this is something that we saw all the time before the Adept got nerfed, because they could 2-shot SCVs, which was a scary and terrifying thing. Yep. And this is the scout of everything. He sees that Twilight Council is researching his what is in fact Blink. And this Observer is going to go and scout ByuN's base, which is important.
I actually thought he was going to bring the Widowmine along with this drop. I think there's those 2 little slots that are super lonely right now that can have a Widowmine, but you do need that to defend back at home, just in case, maybe. No, he actually just has them sitting there, so...
I think he wants to do a double drop here. He's going to try to basically make sure, like, the goal here, like, I mean, that is one way you could do it, right? That's what that slot is for, in fact, literally. But what he wants to do here is do a drop and do pressure where literally all 6 of these Marines live. That's the most important thing here. He might even get a cancel. If these 6 Marines live with this cancel, it'd be huge.
Oh yeah, definitely going to get a cancel there. 3 Widowmines coming in to drop from the other side.
Yeah, he's going to use this to draw attention away from the natural to where the second drop comes in, and it's something you don't expect.
So low, and he gets the cancel.
Nice. See, now he gets exactly what he wants. He boosts away here. He's drawing the Stalker's attention out into the main base. And then he's going to force an overcharge here. The Mothership Core is not the natural. And 3 Widow Mines, once those plant, we saw how much damage what happened in the first game. Let's see if Classic can split better this time.
All 3 Widow Mines down. Not moving the probe! Oh my god! 6, 8 probes going down, and he'll be able to pick up all 3 of those Widow Mines if he wants to. Now, in the main base, the drop getting cleared out, but already some success. They're on their worker harass.
Okay, he will need to move this.
Gotta move. Okay.
But that's exactly what ByuN was looking for. Now the Liberator follow-up is here, and the overcharges have been used. He's going to go to the main base again.
Stalkers are actually out on the map. This is actually a counter coming in for Classic. He's not going to have anything at home to deal with his Liberator. Can he actually just straight up kill ByuN?
I don't think he can kill him, but he can find some serious damage. As you can see, the unit count is low here. But uh-oh, is that TY in the booth? He's got a bunker ready. He's totally safe. Okay, double-pronged harass again. Main base as well is right now under attack. He's not paying attention.
Dealing with it. You gotta move those probes. 4 off of that, and a Liberator in the main base. Gonna get so many worker kills. His push up into the front does a little bit of damage, but it's gonna be pushed back by that siege tank.
It's just not enough to like win the game because he doesn't have a prism. Oh my god, the Liberator gets away as well. Like right now, Classic needs to start doing some serious damage. Like picking off a depot is not enough. He needs to find another window, maybe even blinking forward and killing SCVs. Now the Marines are in position, that's not even a possibility. This Liberator is alive with 5 kills. This is the kind of game that ByuN even wanted to play last game. Notice the difference when the Classic was having those 2 DTs of what ByuN can do. Like he has Stim now, with +1 way faster than before. He has tanks up, he can defend this, and he did more serious damage. Actually, the damage is really similar, but like because he can actually have damage while defending, it feels like he's more ahead because he is. Like it's not even like a feeling; it's the truth. And I guess like Classic needs to try to do something creative here. He does have a 3rd base, so he can get his probe count back up. But ByuN is going to have a follow-up push with Stim and these 3 barracks he's adding. He's not going to 3 bases. He's going to do a 2 base, a timing attack here. Kind of funny.
Right. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. The drop and the pickup range for Warp Prisms, I don't know, how does it work? It seems way bigger than it actually is, but a soft contain here will ensure that ByuN does not get up a 3rd base, so even though that probe harass was actually really good, it's still an extra base up for Classic, so he'll be able to recover from that.
This turret and this Viking are so important because
MVP.
If he kills this, then his timing goes.
Oh my god.
Now he goes. He can just go. It's time. Like, he can go pressure now because he doesn't have to worry about backstabbing. This is huge that he gets this. He just wanted to have it ready for when he pushes. But now that it's killed, he can push right now. And this is like, the scariest thing you are as a 2-base Terran when you're pushing across the map like this is backstab drops like this that force you to turn around before you can even get to their base.
Right.
Now he doesn't have to worry about that. He's going to go for this attack. He's even going to take a 3rd base because he knows there's no way that this can get pressured. And he wants to actually kill this 3rd. But he does have to like kind of get there before this window of time, because right now, like, this base has been up long enough. Classic actually takes the worker lead again. He needs to do some serious damage here, and he's trying to get into position. These pylons very well placed.
He misses the observer, so there is still one sitting over the tanks there, and while he will be able to drop them forward to take out these pylons, yeah, there's no threat of a counter at all. You actually just have to be able to defend this push. He's not actually microing the Stalkers on hold position. He needs to pull them back, and he does. Nice force fields, though. Will take out a few of these forward Marines, but needs to blink in on top of the tanks, and he will. Takes down a couple of the dropships, but these tanks are actually staying alive. Adept shade in on the low ground, but it looks like there might be just enough Stalkers.
Look at the rest of this army. Is coming, Rapid.
Oh my god.
This is a perfect position for the siege tank on the low ground. The Adepts couldn't really get in there and hit it. It was like good staggering there to where all tanks were getting value, even when he lifted the front tanks. And this is starting to stack up some damage. And he did all of this without +1 armor. He did all this without combat shields. And both those upgrades are about to finish here.
Oh, as soon as they do. He's actually going right before they do finish. Might want to pull back and wait, but here come the Adepts. Shading in, but picking up those tanks. And we'll need to micro those successfully to keep them both alive. The Adepts shade on top. The Widow Mine's actually going to burrow. It's going to get a big hit off. And here come the double Liberators.
I think Classic is way too confident fighting this position. Should have probably tried to back off and fight with this 3rd base. But now he's lost too much. He has no answer for the Liberators. Only 3 Stalkers here, and he just pull back into the liberation zones. ByuN has won this position, and because he did make that 3rd base, and there was no counter pressure because the Warp Prism was shut down, he's totally safe here, and he's basically nearly checkmated Classic in this game. He just needs to make sure he doesn't overextend here.
The M&M is actually really, really low at this point, so this is going to be vulnerable to getting those picked off by some nice blink harass, but hide underneath the Liberators, and he does have a nice wall of Widow Mines. Oh, he gets it! And that's going to be no more Mothership Core, no more overcharges.
He needs more medevacs. That's the big issue here. Like, yeah, you said his bio is low, but also that medevac has 0 energy. Oh, is he going to commit again?
That would not be smart. Committing under liberation zones with units that can't hit air. That's where you start stroking your little nerd beard and like, that doesn't make a lot of sense, and you feel really good and go post about it on Reddit. Just like, that's not a good idea. You feel very smart about yourself.
You feel very like empowered at that moment when a pro gamer makes a mistake. But this is like, he holds for now, which is quite impressive. I think ByuN definitely could have been a little bit more aggressive, but he wants to make sure he has the win for sure with the next 2 medevacs that come. But he's allowed time for these pylons to get up, which is the scary thing, because now he can get zoned out here. But he has a 3rd base, and he's continuing upgrades. Look at the production tab. It tells the story of how ahead he is. He's got, like, out of control good production. His medevac count was lowered because he did commit to those 2 Liberators, but now he's got these 3 medevacs. He just needs to rally them over and come at a different angle, perhaps even do like a big doom drop to the north, or attack from the north side, just go in by ground, and like swing around the right side where all the pylons are not there. I think that's like a really good way. Okay, this is exactly what he's going to do.
God.
He's going to take that other angle to the right side and not fight into the worst position possible.
Yeah, like you said, out of control, good production from ByuN. But credit to Classic, he has actually held this 3rd base, which was actually in a lot of danger when those 2 Liberators came up and had that great spider or Widow Mine positioning there. But now it's actually Classic that's going to swing things maybe back a little bit the other way, but he does have to stop this push coming in. There's actually no tanks here to defend this. The Depths need to make sure not to shade on top of those Widow Mines, but I think Classic is in an okay position.
Yeah, ByuN is very timid here. He's not really committing to the attack. He has this lead in army, and he had it for a while, but it's like the gap is definitely shrinking between these 2. He's now trying to do this delicate balance between Liberators and medevacs. So now he's going to have 4 Liberators, and we'll see if he actually starts 2 more. Yeah, he does. So he's not actually going into the medevacs production again, but he has a decent amount here. As you guys can see, 6 of them. Oh, look at this art. Classic wants to fight this.
Oh, good. The Liberators not sieged. They will have to get those up as fast as possible. Big Widow Mine hits, but the army of ByuN back up against the wall. Does he have just barely enough? And he does.
He does. He does. He did. I'd be like, speechless. His Widow Mine, or his Liberator siege positioning was perfect. He anticipated the shades. At first I was like, why did he siege there? That's wrong. No, it was perfect because he knew as soon as they were sieged, the Adepts have already been on top of his army. That was sick positioning with those Liberators.
This fight is actually so even. Extra Warpins coming in for Classic, but just absolutely clairvoyant positioning there by ByuN.
But look at the production.
That push.
Look at the production. These Protoss units are more expensive than the Terran units he just lost. He didn't lose all of his Liberators. ByuN doesn't know how ahead he is. He actually could continue to push this. He could bring his units together, but he's not. And the fact that these Immortals live is pretty big, but I don't know if he's going to... Like, the problem for Classic now is he has to balance his anti-air. He has to have enough Stalkers, but Stalkers aren't good against the bio. They can only kill Liberators, and it's very difficult in this match for the Protoss versus Liberator comps, especially when you're behind, to have enough of everything. Like, you have to have enough anti-air, but not too many Stalkers, because then you get Shrek'd by the Marauders. And oh man.
Oh, Classic actually circumventing this army positioning, is pushing into the Protoss 4th. Might get caught as he tries to come up this ramp. There's good Liberator positioning. I take that back. He loses one. And actually, whoa, got to get out of there. He loses a Liberator and a medevac.
You know what's happening here, Rapid, is Classic is like, I'm behind, but I'm a better player. Like, I'm going to make him make mistakes. Like, he knows, this is not a coincidence, by the way, that ByuN makes this mistake. Nest-T would do this as Mutalis back in Wings of Liberty, where he'd fly them in such a way that you'd see the medevacs go over a ridge because he's wanting all of his army together and kill He knows the mechanical errors that humans make, and he's like, okay, if I do this, his Liberators will fly over this spot, I'm going to kill it. It's not like this moment where he's like, oh, I'm so lucky I got these. No, he knew this was likely to happen.
Oh, he might actually lose a lot of his army here. Nice force fields on top of the ramp. Little pickups.
He's so smart, Classic. He knows that he's tricking ByuN into thinking that ByuN is not behind, or the ByuN is that he's not as ahead as he'd like to be. He's like, okay, maybe this is a more even game now. Look at how Classic's attacking me. This doesn't make sense. So he must have a larger army. Maybe he's got a follow-up plan here. And like this scan is like, okay, I'm calling your bluff. Like, you are expanding behind this. You're desperate. You're long distance mining. And this is actually the experience of a 2-time champion versus somebody who has gone from the scene for a while and has come back. And Classic is on SKT. He's like a player down 60 supply who's making ByuN look scared.
Whoa, he's going to have to get some nice blink timings off on there. Very hard to break this ramp. Nice Liberator positioning on top here for ByuN, but a blink over the ramp. I don't think Classic has enough here. He's actually just going to go blinking right on top of. He's got more Stalkers coming in from behind. Liberators here canceling the 4th base, or actually just straight up killing it. And this push from ByuN actually could do so much damage.
GG. Eventually, ByuN was like, wait a minute, you're dead. I'm not falling for this anymore.
You can see big smiles on his face. He's like, wait a second, I can actually just kill you.
The 2 moments that gave me chills on that game were the preemptive liberation zones from ByuN. And, like, that was really cool. The second one was when Classic understands very well human error and army control. Like, the path as the crow flies, the rally point for those of you who don't separately shift queue them around, would fly over that position, so he picks off Liberators and Medivacs. Nesty would do this on Daybreak and Cloud Kingdom. There's pillars on that map, right? So he flies Mutas in a weird place, and the turn be like, oh, I could just kill these. Why would he put his Mutas there? And he 1As his whole army. The Medivacs fly the fastest path, and he snipes a Medevac and then does it again. There's weird vision. The Medevacs go over and he kills a Medevac again. I'm like, okay, he understands human error, and he's played enough ladder games to know that Terrans will make mistakes like that. So, guys, we are going to go into a 3rd game now, as this is getting pretty intense rapid. Like, we
2 game 3s in a row.
This is pretty rare, actually, in a group like this. Especially when we have, in my opinion, in this second best of 3, a clear favorite. But the fan favorite is fighting on, and he takes a lead here